After nursing a household full of sick people back to health, my eyes are watering. Please excuse me. It's nice to get out and take a walk. Uh, so, where I live, it's like a pretty northern place. Um, Historically, Minnesota has been known for its pretty intense winters. And I have noticed like a change since, so I didn't grow up fully. We moved to Minnesota when I was like 11. I lived all over the place as a kid. I spent a good chunk of my childhood in Utah. and but I remember, and I actually moved back to Utah as an adult and was able to experience the difference between the winters from when I was a kid and the winters now. And it's the same with Minnesota. I've been here, left, come back enough times to where I can notice the difference. And so I kind of have been thinking a little bit about like the climate change topic. And it's obvious to me that there's something going on with the weather. Uh, so there's grass right now, and it's early December. This is very uncharacteristic when you think about the historical weather patterns of this area that I live in. I also noticed it going back to Utah as an adult, the winters just seem less intense, less snow. One thing that I've noticed that's been a little disconcerting is more of a drought pattern here in Minnesota. When I was a kid, it was a really lush place. Lots of rain in the summer, lots of snow in the winter. It's known for all of its lakes. And even though the mosquitoes suck, the lushness of the area was something I really loved about it. And you know, I was born on the winter solstice, and so I've always felt like a connection with the darkness of winter, the snow. I don't know. There's an importance to it. There's a beauty to it, and the fact that there's no snow right now, I don't like it. Like, I don't like being cold. I don't like being frozen. Driving in the snow sucks. But there's like there's some kind of a beauty to the change of seasons. That's something that I really like. And so I'm kind of disturbed that here I am and not a lick of snow on the ground in December. And so it is clear to me that the weather is changing, that there are warming patterns. When I was in high school, Who Killed the Electric Car, that documentary came out. And I was really interested. And then there was the whole Inconvenient Truth documentary. There's some dubiousness to Al Gore, in my opinion, but regardless, it made an impact. Um, and I remember when that documentary came out about who killed the electric car, I was like, what the heck? We've had these clean technologies forever, and we haven't. Wow, well, okay, great. Now that this documentary, it was so idealistic, so innocent, so naive. I expected by this point in my life that we would have clean energy everywhere. And there's people overcomplicate things. You hear all kinds of different things about problems with solar and wind and all this different stuff. Listen, regardless of whether climate change is being caused by the use of fossil fuels, clean energy is the way to go. Fossil fuels are messy, it's dirty, it pollutes the environment. Now, the cause of climate change, I don't know. There's lots of different viewpoints on it. It's been pretty evident to me for a long time, and I think to a lot of people, that global power systems are paying lip service to this idea of preventing climate change. You know what I think? Here's what I think. It bothers me that there's less of an emphasis on environmentalism, cleaning up pollution. It's the emphasis has completely shifted to everybody focuses on this term climate change. There are these terms that get turned into like psychological weapons almost. A term will hold all these connotations and all this weight, and people will get addicted to these terms as if it like encompasses the whole complete issue. What we're dealing with is a whole lot more than climate change as far as the earth. I've you know, I've driven around the United States and people are treating it like a garbage dump. Garbage blowing, uh, farming runoff, um, you know, all these beautiful lakes, all these pools, you know, with the ice fishing, and then all the oil from the vehicles leaks into the water in the springtime. It's just, the pollution is outrageous. And so, because people have gotten so fixated on this, like when I was a kid, environmentalism was the term that was used. And so it encompassed all of the different stuff. So, recycling, cutting back on, you know, corporate pollution. I got to switch hands. And, and now it's just people talk about climate change. And clearly there's something going on, okay? The weather's patterns are warming. What is the cause of that? Well, they say there's a scientific consensus that it's caused by the release of carbon from the burning of fossil fuels. I mean, it seems, of course, that seems like a logical explanation, but I think that there's other ideas we could maybe explore. And just because I bring up wacky, crazy ideas on here doesn't mean that I 100% subscribe to all of them. I'm the type of person that likes to explore lots of different possibilities with things, because we've been lied to so much by structures of power. I'm very skeptical when I hear mass hand-fed, you know, here's your plastic spoon with this message of what's going on with a certain situation. I've heard this idea, and it is very out there. So, oop, there's the camera. Hello. So please don't, um, you know, think that I 100% think this is the case. I don't know. That the whole entire solar system is heating up, and all the planets are experiencing some sort of warming trend. I don't know. That seems pretty out there. Okay, so we do know that weather manipulation is a technology that governments have. They used it with the China Olympics to prevent rain from happening. So weather modification is a real thing. Whether that's whether there's a global massive weather modification conspiracy, I don't know. But what it does seem to be the case that these global power government structures are trying to use this idea of climate change to kind of control people. They want to impose certain taxes. There's been a whole massive guilt trip about people doing, you know, living their lives, doing everyday things because of, you know, driving your car, flying on airplanes, things like that. I really would like to see a switch to clean energy, and we could have done it by now. So that's the thing, is I think these power structures pay lip service to the idea of environmentalism, but when it comes to actually implementing the technologies that we need for clean energy, they're not doing it. It's more just about trying to control and manipulate people. But what's going on? I don't know. I'm kind of sad that I don't have my snow. Maybe by my birthday it will be snowy and white. Anyway, kind of a little rant on what is climate change. It was very scattered. Sometimes I can be kind of scattered, but it's a pretty opaque topic anyway, just because of all the differing opinions on what's going on. What's your take on what's going on? What's your take on why the weather is warming? Okay, I'm just gonna say it. This is super weird. Sorry, everyone. Before I go, I'm gonna say one thing. When Donald Trump was president for the 4 years, the weather we got more rain in my area. A lot of the United States experienced more rain. It seemed like the weather kind of stabilized and normalized for a while. I kind of do wonder if the governments have been secretly using weather modification to control the drought. And anyway, I'm not gonna like say that I 100% believe that that's the case, because I don't know, you know, but it does seem odd that once he left office, the weather patterns started to get more like dry and warmed a little bit. Anyway, okay, Bye for now. Have a great day.